Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you either because there are no members who serve on the council. No members have been appointed since the Trump administration established this commission or reestablished this coal council nearly 4 months ago. They haven't bothered to name one member or name a chair of the council, notwithstanding the urgency that you described that this issue merits. Do you know how many times they've met since June?
I'm thinking you're going to tell me probably they haven't met at all since there's not a
that's
council.
a great guess.
Since there's not a council.
You are right, sir. Council, coalition, commission, whatever you want to call it. This new entity that the Trump administration has reestablished as an urgent priority to boost coal production has not met once since this all-important executive order that was issued in June. They have not named any members. They have not named a chair. For anybody who's curious about this, go online. Go on Google, National Coal Council or Commission, and you will find nothing but coming soon attractions on every page of the council. They don't have any future meetings scheduled. It just says coming soon on their website.
4 months after an executive order promising to revive a crucial council for the coal industry, what do we actually have? A coming soon website, no members appointed, and no meetings scheduled. It seems like a priority, in theory. In practice, nothing. Today, we're going to expose this contradiction. Why does the government talk about urgency, yet fail to take the simple actions that would prove that urgency? Stay with us. And before you go, if you enjoy this kind of analysis that dismantles the political spectacle in the name of truth, go ahead and like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next ones. Let's dive in. Quick context. The government announced it had revived the National Coal Council in June. In theory, it's an advisory board meant to promote coal. But here's the catch. When urgency turns into rhetoric and not action, what we really get is political marketing to prop up an industry.
I'm thinking you're going to tell me probably they haven't met at all since there's not a council.
That's a great guess.
Since there's not a council.
You are right, sir. Council, coalition, commission, whatever you want to call it. This new entity that the Trump administration has reestablished as an urgent priority to boost coal production has not met once since this all-important executive order that was issued in June. They have not named any members. They have not named a chair. For anybody who's curious about this, go online. Go on Google, National Coal Council or Commission, and you will find nothing but coming soon attractions on every page of the council. They don't have any future meetings scheduled. It just says coming soon on their website. You could understand, Mr. Latta, my indignation here, and I think, indignation, frankly, from a lot of Americans who would say, if this is such an important priority, right, why are we spending time considering before the Rules Committee a bill to codify a council when, in fact, that isn't necessary?
Check out this moment. The congressman calls out the absurdity straight on. The government announces a revival in an urgent tone, yet no meetings are scheduled, no members are appointed. This isn't harmless bureaucracy, it's political theater. Here's the short take. Declaring urgency without action is a narrative tool to justify future measures and gain political support. In the next few minutes, I'll show how they sell the idea of a race with China and why, in practice, it's still just performance.
If I may.
Sure.
Again, it's important that this is done statutorily because as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we're in a race right now.
No, I hear you.
And the race that we're in is with Communist China. And Communist China is not waiting. And, when you're looking at probably over 100 coal-fired plants coming online in the future over there, when you think about what they're doing on all their energy sources, but they're putting a big emphasis, especially on on coal.
But why pass a bill to create a council?
Well, because I think
that is never going to meet.
But again, it's important that we have it in the statute, that we make sure that we have the folks on this council to move forward with it. Because we're looking across this country, and it was mentioned a little bit earlier about certain regions of the country. You look up not on the coal side, but you look on the New England states, when the governor's up there saying that the people up there are paying 40% more, and they're looking at pipelines.
Notice the argument. It's a race with China. It's the classic narrative used to turn an economic issue into a geopolitical emergency. But there are 3 simple questions that no one answers when using this rhetoric. Number 1, what concrete actions have you taken today? Number 2, who exactly will be on this council and when will meetings be scheduled? Number 3, how does this urgency translate into measurable policies that don't harm communities? Rhetoric may scare. In practice, it requires appointments, agendas, and goals. Now, the opposition exposes this gap directly.
I'm simply saying I don't understand the rationale of spending time passing a bill to create a council when that council already exists and when they refuse to meet now as it is. I mean, if we pass this bill, are you saying that now they will magically start meeting, that the Department of Energy is going to decide to appoint a chair? They could appoint one today. The council could meet tomorrow. They could update their website. I suspect they probably will after now this exchange here that, perhaps there's some folks at the Department of Energy who've realized that, lo and behold, this really important coal council that they've decided is integral to the future of the country hasn't bothered to do anything. They haven't even bothered to update the website. I suspect they're going to change that. But in any event, that's my only point, Mr. Latta. It's not, I mean, they clearly don't share your sense of urgency. You'd agree with that, right? Otherwise, they'd be meeting.
Well, and again, the United States, it's estimated that we have the largest amount of coal reserves in the world.
So why don't they meet?
Well, again, I think it's important that we do it in statute and get it
They don't
done.
need it. They can meet now.
So that's why I think we ought to get the bill passed.
Okay. Well,
Pay attention. This moment reveals a recurring strategy. When there's no political will for immediate action, a mechanism is created that looks like it's doing something, but in practice delays the solution. There are 3 layers to this trick. First, performativity. Announcing a council and making a ceremony around it creates headlines and instant credibility. Even if no one has been appointed and no meetings are scheduled, the public sees the headline. The problem remains. Second, blame shifting. Instead of executing through administrative action, appointing members, scheduling meetings, publishing an agenda, the option is to push it to Congress. We'll pass a law, creating the illusion that the solution depends on the legislature, when in fact simple measures could be implemented today. Third, concentrated benefit. While the public consumes patriotic rhetoric about energy security and the race with China, specific interests, companies, lobbyists, or groups that profit from coal expansion gain time and narrative control. I'm not saying every initiative is inherently bad. I'm saying we need to see practical evidence, agendas, appointed members, measurable goals. Without that, it's just marketing.
Bill passed.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Latta, and I appreciate the
Thank
chair's
you.
indulgence. But I think if pressed, the chair might concede that this is a salient point, that there's no reason for us to be spending our time. I mean, at a minimum, if you're going to make the case to your colleagues in the House that this is an urgent priority, somebody's got to call someone over the Department of Energy and tell them, hey, you know what, maybe update the website and appoint a few members and act like you're doing some work so that we can convince our colleagues that this is a council worth supporting and ultimately enshrining into statute. But anyway, I'm not in charge here, so I defer. I'll yield back to the chair. I thank Mr. Latta and Mr. Mendez.
The announced priority hasn't translated into action. The council still hasn't met, no members have been appointed, and no goals have been published. If it were truly a priority, the government would have acted immediately. The proposal to pass a law only formalizes something that could be resolved today without bureaucracy. For us, the citizens, it's time to demand transparency. Those who claim urgency must show it with concrete actions, not empty promises. And if you want to keep following this, subscribe and comment. Do you think this priority is real or just theater?